Hi everyone, let's see how to find the derivative of tan of x. So I've written this as an exercise here. We have to differentiate f of x which equals to tan of x. To do this, the important thing to remember is that tan of x, by very definition, is equal to sine of x over cosine of x. With that in mind, we can rewrite our function f of x as just that, so that's sine of x over cosine of x. And now, since f of x is one function being divided by another, to differentiate it, we use the quotient rule, which, if you need any reminding, is shown in the upper right-hand corner here. So if I go ahead and call the numerator u and the denominator v, then we can go ahead and write that u is equal to sine of x, and therefore u dash of x equals to cosine of x. And we can say that v is equal to cosine of x, and therefore v dash of x is equal to negative sine of x. And with the quotient rule, we can go ahead and state that f dash of x is equal to u dash times v minus u times v dash of x. And all of that is written over v squared. So I'll just write v of x squared. There we go. Now replacing u, v, u dash, and v dash by the functions we have here, this becomes cosine of x times cosine of x minus sine of x times negative sine of x. And all of that is written over v of x squared, so that's cosine squared, which we write as cosine squared of x. Now on the numerator, since we have this negative sign here and we're subtracting, we can simplify this to say that it's equal to cosine squared of x plus sine squared of x. And all of that's written over cosine squared of x. Alright, we're nearly done, but we're now faced with two options. And one of those options is to use the fact that 1 is equal to cosine squared of x plus sine squared of x, which allows us to state that the entire numerator just equals to 1. And that's one of the options. We can go ahead and state that f dash of x is equal to 1 over cosine squared of x. And we could also write that as secant squared of x, or sec squared of x. Done. That's the first option. Another option we have, though, is to split this entire fraction into two separate fractions. In other words, we could also state that f dash of x is equal to cosine squared of x over cosine squared of x plus sine squared of x over cosine squared of x. And since cosine squared of x over cosine squared of x will just equal to 1, this becomes 1 plus sine squared of x over cosine squared of x. Finally, using the fact that sine over cosine is equal to tan, we state the second option, which is f dash of x, the derivative, equals to 1 plus tan squared of x. And that's our second option. These two results are both the derivative of tan of x, and they're both derived starting from the quotient rule. And I should say, there isn't one result that's better than the other. It really will depend on the circumstances in which we use them. So knowing both of these results is actually really quite important. But there we have it. That's how to differentiate tan of x using the quotient rule.